viewers, Walter here. I didn't put the camera the right angle, did I? Folding up this towel that I used when I was cutting grass. I soak it in water. It was about 85 degrees out here yesterday. Soak it in water, put it around my neck and go driving around trying to stay cool. And I thought I'd talk a little bit today. A little bit of a vlog. We went to town a while ago and went to the bank. Hauled off the daily haul to the trash dump. But I was thinking about something to talk about on YouTube. I come up with the evolution of ice. I-C-E, ice. Well, when I was a kid living down in South Georgia, I remember it quite well. I don't know why I can remember way back then. I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday. We lived in a little country town, McCray, Georgia. In fact, we lived on a little dirt road with a whole row of sawmill houses. But I remember the Iceman. Everybody had, not everybody, we had an ice box. An ice box is not a refrigerator. It's just a box, you put a chunk of ice in it, and it'll keep your stuff cold for a few days until the ice melts, and you can add another chunk of ice and make something else last for a while. That was the only way you could keep milk or butter or anything that needed to be refrigerated was put it in your ice box. Well, with the evolution of anyway, I recall that this ice box wasn't all that big, but it had a slot you could stick this big old chunk of ice up in there. Well, where did you get the ice from? A man delivered it. It was a man that, I believe it was a horse and wagon, or it might have been a truck, I don't remember now. But I remember following them. Well, I believe it was a wagon. The Iceman would have these big old chunks of ice loaded on the back of his trailer, wagon, whatever it was he had. And we would chase him down a dirt road, the kids would, and they use an ice pick to chop the ice up into smaller blocks. For the ones they're going to sell, they'll cut off a big chunk about yay big, I don't know what it costs. They sell it to people when they come down the road, so if you needed to restock your ice box, you would just wait until the Iceman come by and holler out there, you want a hunk of ice. Well, us kids would chase him down the road, and there would be little chunks of ice chip off the wrong way, and we'd grab them off the back of his wagon and eat our chunk of ice. It was a kick to chase him down the road and get a piece of ice off the Iceman's wagon. Most of you younger people ain't gonna remember days like that. Some of you may not even remember refrigerators. People come out with refrigerators. They still use that term refrigerator even if it's made by General Electric or something. Frigidaire, I think some people call them Frigidaires. But with the evolution of the electric Frigidaire, people learned how to make their own ice. They did little metal trays about yay long with a handle you lift up and down. Some of them you could twist to break it loose. But you make your own ice cubes, little square chunks of ice. You stick them up in your freezer, and you make make your own ice. If you want some iced tea or something, you just go break open a tray of ice and dump a few cubes in everybody's glass, and everybody got some iced tea. You don't see the ice trays in a refrigerator anymore. Nowadays they got this big old slot in the door. You just stick your glass up there and it'll throw ice out. Well, last night we were sitting at the table getting ready for supper, and one of my little duties is to go over there and stick the glass up there to the refrigerator and fill up our glasses with ice. Well, 2 ice cubes of ice got stuck together and got stuck in the door, and I knew that it had ran and I could hear ice dropping. but nothing was going in my glass. So I stopped. I knew it's all piled up inside the little slot in the door. What am I going to do? We're going to have ice all over the floor here in a minute. So I held the glass up there and tried to poke the ice through it. It wouldn't go. It was froze like a chunk right there in the door. Finally had to dig it out. Pieces of ice falling all over the floor. Managed to break the ice and get it out without breaking the little trap door in the refrigerator. Break that trap door and you'd have to replace your whole refrigerator, I guess. We went to town today and I was thinking about that when I saw these big old ice machines on the side of the road. They got a regular business where you can go down there and buy you 5-pound bag of ice, a 10-pound bag of ice, whatever you want. Dump them in your little coolers, go on your Memorial Day holiday or whatever. Cool a big old case of beer if you're having a barbecue or something. So ice has evolved, but it still boils down to you're paying for ice that you can make yourself. I don't know why people don't make their own ice cubes anymore. But it's just something to talk about. How many people remember the old ice boxes? In fact, they became collector's items. I remember the Iceman. Do you remember the Iceman? In fact, they had an ice house downtown. You could go down and purchase your ice at the ice house. Now, the railroad still had ice houses for years. When I was working for the railroad, they still had the ice refrigerated cars that, little trap doors up on top of the boxcar on both ends. You drop ice cubes down in there and you could ship a load of lettuce or whatever to California or back to here to Georgia from California, wherever it come from. That was the only way you could get refrigerated stuff across the country, was these refrigerated cars. Nowadays the refrigerated cars have a diesel engine on both ends. It's like the whole boxcar is like a big refrigerator. They can bring the temperature down to about 10 below zero. And I'm getting a little bit off track with this story, talking about that. A door was open on a refrigerated boxcar. Now, one of my duties was to go try to close the door. Well, when I got there, the door was falling off. It was hanging by one hinge up there at the top. I got the boom on my truck and lined it up, tried to push it back up there to get it closed the best I could. And usually you could do that, but the door fell off completely. That's how badly it was damaged. I'm left there with the door hanging open, hanging on the end of my boom. Big old 10, 12 foot wide door, whatever the dimensions are. No, I think they're more like 14 feet. Anyway, that car was full of frozen fish. It was going to spoil. I called the claims department and told them, these people are not going to want this fish. It's been exposed to all kind of dirt and germs. So, as a regular claims department, we had to fill out a bunch of products like that get damaged. But that's getting off the train of thought. I just was remembering the evolution of ice. Kind of an odd story to be sharing with my viewers. But, I imagine some of you remember snow cones. I guess you can still buy snow cones. Ground up ice, just like a ball of snow. Dump Kool-Aid stuff on top of it and have a refreshing little tasty juice soaked in ice and call it a snow cone. But there ain't nothing no better than a tall glass of iced tea with some ice cubes dropped in it. And have just some iced tea. Some places all they drink is hot tea. In the South, we're popular for iced tea, sweetened iced tea. You go up north, ask for a glass of iced tea, they'll give you iced tea. It won't have no dang sugar in it. How many of you have been in a restaurant that served tea that didn't have sugar already in it? It's hard as heck to stir a spoonful of sugar into your glass of tea and get it to dissolve and taste the same as pre-sweetened iced tea. Nowadays, if I want some sweet tea, I just go in there and open a bottle. We buy it by the case. We used to make it by the gallon here, but we done got big rig, better than anybody else. Too lazy to make our own iced tea. Not really too lazy. It's more convenient just to buy tea already made. Anyway, that's you ever try to think of a word and it doesn't quite come to you? That's about the extent of my vlog for today. I appreciate you listening to me ramble on about the evolutionize. I do hope everybody has a nice Memorial Day. And you break open them ice cubes and make you some tea or cool your beer. Think about old Pwalpar. Sitting down here sipping on some sweet tea. Y'all take care, as Pwalpar saying, have a nice Memorial Day.